We're back with another preview event from Dominion Menagerie today. And this one is, in some ways, very simple, but not necessarily so easy to evaluate. So let's jump into what it is. It's called Alliance. It costs 10. We've already seen an event that costs 10 earlier, Populate. And in that video, I think I noted that I thought it was the first thing that cost 10 in the game, which is not true because King's Castle costs 10, but this also costs 10 for what it's worth. Anyway, it says gain a province, a duchy, an estate, a gold, and a silver. So you will gain 6 cards unless one or more of those piles is empty. Um, yeah. Uh, this is a thing. It's 10 points for 10 money, which is as many points as colony. But it's slightly, obviously, more money efficient than colony because it costs 10 instead of 11. It's way less card efficient than colony because you get 6 cards instead of 1 card. So I actually think per card efficiency tends to be more important. Basically, I don't think this is going to be all that great in most cases because gaining an estate is not something you want to do. Gaining a copper is not something you want to do. Gaining a duchy may or may not be something you want to do. Gaining a gold is probably fine to good. Gaining a silver is kind of meh by the time you're making 10. Um, Gaining a province is fine, but you're not going to want to do it too often or especially too early. If you have a ton of deck control that you can deal with adding 6 cards to your deck, I don't really anticipate you having that much deck control, I guess. But if you do, then good for you. And sure, this is nice. If, for instance, it's a single gain board, um, but the draw is really strong, then you might like this. And you can, especially if you can deal with somehow trashing or thinning some of the junkier parts of this. But in general, I expect this is going to be fairly weak for most of the game, and just going to be then something that you're happy to take right at the end, where it's a fine thing to take right at the end. Let me think for a moment about money decks. Does this something that you would take versus not in a money deck? Like, say you hit 10 on turn 8 and it's your first province. Would you take this or not? Um, I don't. Let's see. You're getting 6 money for 6 cards, so you're bringing your money density towards 1, which is bad, but getting just province brings it towards 0, but less strongly. I don't know. You might get this in money decks, but you also might not. If your money deck has some sifting, then you probably will get this, I guess. Because let's say you're playing money with some cantrips and a terminal or two, and then like some sifting card like Forum or something you've got a couple copies of, then this is probably better than Province if you stumble upon 10. Um, but for the most part, I think you're not going to get this until very close to the end of the game where you're going to get this because it's 4 extra points than Province. Um, if it's a single game board. If it's not a single game board, then I don't know, you might be doing other stuff. What else is there to note? With Trader, you can turn the copper into a silver or the estate, any of them into a silver. So if you're playing a money deck with Trader, then you'll absolutely go for this. Although I'm not sure how you hit 10 in that deck, but I guess you could. But you got a province and a gold and 4 silvers, which is great for a money deck. But like, how often are you playing a money deck with Trader where you have Trader in hand and 10 money? Like, never, right? So that's never going to come up. What else? I'm trying to think of other ways. If Palace is around, then this score is 6, 9, 10 plus 3 is 13 points because you get a full Palace set. Hurrah. If Fountain is around, then this helps you get to your coppers maybe, while also getting provinces, so that's something that I guess might come up. Yeah, I think most of the time this is going to be worse than province, but I mean, 4 extra points is 4 extra points. It's just a lot of extra junk. So if you don't have a really strong way of dealing with it, then you're not going to go for it. And if you do have a really strong way of dealing with it, you probably were doing something better, but I guess maybe there's going to be some cases where you didn't. Anyway, that's my hot take for today. We'll see you again tomorrow with another hot take on another card, event, way. It's probably going to be a card or an event or a way. Thanks for watching, everybody.